So Battlefield 2042 has been delayed, and Sony announced a brand new color scheme for the 3D Pulse headset. Welcome back, my friends, to another video here on the channel. If you are new, we do a variety of gaming content. We talk about the games and we play the games, so you'll see, gaming news, for example, like this one, and then you also see things like gameplays and let's plays and all that good stuff. So if you are into that content, be sure to subscribe for more, and if you do enjoy this video, leave it a like, helps the channel out. If you don't like it, that's fine too. You can dislike the video. That's it's all good as well. And anyways, so let's jump into this. Not going to be a super long video. We only got a couple things to talk about today. So first off, Sony announced the 3D Pulse headset in black, midnight black, to go with that midnight black controller. Looks really, really nice. I love the midnight black kind of color scheme. It's kind of like a matte, flat kind of black, if you will. That was a lot of rhyming there. Anyways, and it just kind of makes you wonder, though, are they going to come out with a red version? Probably not. Probably not. It's probably just more like white and black right now. Maybe they'll come out with red eventually, though. You never know. The bigger question is, will they come out with a black PS5? Because obviously the panels, you can just remove them. You can pop them in and out as you please. And one of the things that I thought of, early on, a lot of people did when the PS5 came out, was kind of reminiscent of the 3DS, where the new 3DS, the normal one, not the XL version, had the panels you could swap out, and you had all these different kinds of designs. So it'd be really cool if Sony actually sold those. Right now, it's only third-party kind of services, if you will. So some people do have these matte black panels because they've either painted them themselves or most likely got them from third-party services. So it'd be nice to see if Sony comes out with that, and it'd be kind of cool if they sold panels individually. I don't know if that'll happen, but anyways, the headset's cool in black. Yesterday, there was a brand new update for the PlayStation 5, and if you do have a Pulse headset, so this is kind of, if you do want to buy this black one, for example, or if you already have the white one, there's a new EQ only for the 3D Pulse headset. So any other headsets, you don't really have the EQ functionality. This is specifically for these headsets, and again, the EQ is not really that, it's not like a wide kind of broadband EQ. It's a very simple one. It's only like 100 hertz, 400, 1K, 4K, and 10K, which is very limiting. I mean, it's okay. I mean, you can tweak with it how you will. There are presets that you can play with if you don't know really what you're doing. And if you do know what you're doing, then again, you can tweak them. I mean, the kind of standard rule of thumb is the 100 hertz range. So on the left side is more of your lower end, kind of the bassy stuff. And then the 10K hertz up to 20K, which there's no 20K option on this EQ. It's kind of getting more into the higher end, and then around the 1K is the mid-range, right? So the 400 hertz is like low mids, the 1K is right in the mids, and the 4K is kind of like high mids. So, I mean, that's kind of a rule of thumb, I guess you could go by, but it gets more complicated than that when you kind of bring frequencies into the equation. Of course, if you put too much low end, it's going to sound muddy, and it's going to sound, literally, it's going to sound like you're listening to something through mud. If you have too much high end, it's going to sound like you're listening through a tin can. So you got to, it's better to kind of research EQs if you don't really understand them before kind of playing with this. You can really know how to tweak this EQ to the best of your liking. That said, like I said, it's a very simple EQ. There's not a ton of options, a ton of range. It's just a 5-band EQ. So anyways, just wanted to mention that really, really quick. Kind of went off on a little bit rabbit trail talking about EQ there. Let's move on to Battlefield 2042 because we got news. There was actually at first rumors that it was going to get delayed, and then finally the team came out and they posted an official announcement that they have made the decision to delay Battlefield 2042. But you know what? It's not that much of a delay. It's not as much as you would have thought. It's only a month. That's it. They've only delayed it a month. Some people were thinking when the rumors were going around that it was going to be till 2022. But it's still coming out this year, so I'll throw it up on the screen and now you guys can read it with me. They said, we've made the decision to shift the launch of Battlefield 2042. The game will now be released worldwide on November 19th, 2021. Building the next generation of Battlefield during a global pandemic has created unforeseen challenges for our development teams. Given the scale and scope of the game, which obviously it's a massive game, we had hoped our teams would be back in our studios together as we move towards launch. With the ongoing conditions not allowing that to happen safely, and with all the hard work that the teams are doing from home, we feel it is important to take a little bit of extra time. They said, they didn't say a little bit, they just said take the extra time. That's my bad. To deliver on the vision of Battlefield 2042 for our players. Your enthusiasm for the game has been very inspiring. We believe in the game we are making, and we thank you for your patience as we put some finishing touches into the experience. Updates on the open beta will be coming later this month, and all that good stuff. So that's pretty much all they said. Again, it's not getting delayed very much at all, just basically a few weeks, a month, give or take, right? So, you would have expected it would have been a little bit more of a delay, but I guess they felt all they needed was about, a few extra weeks, even an extra month, just kind of make sure everything's polished and whatnot. Hopefully that's enough. Again, maybe this is a thing where, EA, the publisher was kind of like, well, we need this to come out this year, especially with Call of Duty. They like to launch around the same timeline as COD, try to kind of, have that competitiveness, I guess, if you will. So maybe that's the decision from the publisher not to push it off further, but they're like, okay, we can give you an extra month. I don't know. Or maybe they only needed an extra month. I have no idea. But like I said before, if developers feel like they need more time, they need to take more time. It's just that simple. If they feel like they do need until 2022, so be it, man. Just so be it. Like, you rather have a good game right out of the gate than have a very rough game that, again, it's all about first impressions, right? If the player's first impression is a rough game out of the gate, it's going to scar the reputation of that game. It's just how it's going to be. Doesn't matter if you fix it later on, it's going to be really hard to come back from that. I mean, we look at games like Cyberpunk, for example, had a really rough launch. A lot of people were hyped about it. The hype got killed pretty quick. A lot of people still played it. A lot of people even still enjoyed it. And a lot of things have been fixed since then. But that's kind of the memory a lot of people have now because that was the launch of the game, right? So, I always quote Mr. Miyamoto, who said it best. I always paraphrase it, but I'll throw it up on screen so you can see the exact phrasing. But basically that, a rushed game is basically bad, and a game that you take your time with is eventually good, basically. Something like that. And it's true. It really is true, because if you take your time with it, then, and you make it the best that you want it to be and that you're happy with, then it's going to be good, right? The same thing with anything. If you're making anything artistic, if you're creating anything in life, right? You create something, you take your time with it, it's going to end up, a lot better, at least where you're satisfied with it, than it would if you just rush it out. So it's just, with anything, take your time, enjoy whatever you're creating and putting out there, even if it's your livelihood, even if it's what you're making money off of, take your time with it and enjoy it, and actually feel like you're satisfied with the product you're putting out. And if you are, then most likely people will receive it more, they'll receive it better, at least. Maybe not everybody's going to like it. Not everybody's going to like everything everybody creates, obviously, but it's still a good rule of thumb to kind of go by. I'm using that phrase a lot in this episode. I should just call this episode The Rule of Thumb with JSkeleton. Anyways, that's pretty much it, my friends. Not going to drag this on any more than we already have. If you enjoyed the video, leave it a like, subscribe, guys. Let me know what you guys think about this news. Are you happy or disappointed with this delay? Like I said, delays are good for games because it means that they're taking their time to make it better. They feel like it's not ready. That's fine. Same thing happened with Halo Infinite. A lot of other games got delayed. I look back to Breath of the Wild, for example. I'm a massive Zelda fan, which, by the way, if you want to follow my Nintendo channel, all my Nintendo content goes on that channel. But anyways, I'm a massive Zelda fan, and when that game got delayed a bunch, obviously it was disappointing, bummed me out, but eventually it became a masterpiece, right? When the game came out, almost everybody gave it a 10 out of 10 because the game was phenomenal, because they took their time with it. So, it's all good. Delays are good. They're not a bad thing. And it also gives developers more time to kind of chill and breathe. There's a lot of crunch, obviously, nowadays. And crunch is not always bad, obviously, but there is a time where crunch becomes a bad thing, and it's not a good, healthy working environment, right? There's times for crunch, but if there's too much of it, or if it's just kind of a crunch environment, it's not good for anybody, right? You want developers who are creating something artistic to have creative freedom and to feel motivated and inspired, right? You don't want to suffocate that inspiration, and I feel like that happens a lot nowadays in this modern era, especially when you compare it to old games in the past. Anyways, I'm ranting now. I'm sorry. I'll leave it at that. I said this video wasn't gonna be long, and it ended up being way longer. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys soon, another one. Till then, game on.